A big effort underway to preserve the conch. A delegation from the UK looking at opportunities for trade. And the Coconut Festival tops the Easter Monday agenda.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all, I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news, the Bahamas National Trust receiving a major grant recently through the Japan Special Fund Poverty Reduction Program. The financial donation is expected to advance research on one of the country's most recognized and enjoyed resources. Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama and Minister of Finance, the Honorable K. Peter Turnquest, says he is very excited about the basis of this $500,000 grant to the Bahamas National Trust. The purpose is to assist with research for the preservation of conch, specifically in East and West Grand Bahama, and by large, the country.
The whole idea is to research the population of the conch in these two areas to see how they may be, what the population looks like in terms of threat to the survival of the conch. As you know, nationally, there's some concern about the conch population and that we might in fact be overfishing that resource. And so we want to do some specific research in these two particular areas with the view to finding not only the levels of the population, but also to develop additional or alternative means of income for the residents in those areas, so that they have other alternatives, so that they don't feel compelled or forced to overfish, particularly with respect to juvenile conch.
Minister Turnquest says that this grant will help to boost and diversify economic opportunity throughout these communities.
Because it not only gives the fisher people an opportunity to find alternative income, but for those persons who do not fish, the ladies for instance, or those persons who have no real interest in fishing, that they may be able to find alternative ways to support themselves and their families well into the future using sustainable resources. And so I think this is a very valuable project. I think that it's going to provide benefit not only for the residents of East and West Grand Bahama, but for the country as a whole, as we look to diversifying and developing other areas of our economy that we might be able to exploit.
He adds that it is important to find alternative ways to support ourselves, as well as maximize the aspirations of young people.
These kind of research and development opportunities gives young people the vision and the inspiration to think outside the box in terms of what has traditionally been done, and particularly for those underprivileged communities like some of them we have in East Grand Bahama, where they may not be able to go to university or to aspire to some of the careers that other people might have available to them in their communities. We want to be able to encourage our people and to inspire our people to take advantage of the resources that they have, particularly sustainable resources, to create wealth for themselves and to build those communities.
The initiative is expected to be replicated throughout the country. Residents of East Grand Bahama getting an opportunity last Thursday to discuss their fears and concerns with the president of Oban Energies LLC about the multi-billion-dollar development planned for that district. As Kimberly Mullings tells us, residents had a myriad of concerns.
The environmental impact assessment on the Oban Energies LLC project remains a bone of contention for many stakeholders across Grand Bahama. Some of them want to know if the results of the EIA will be made public and other developments in the project. President Satpal Dana says they are now going through the EIA process.
The BEST Commission have been on site. Our environmental consultants have sit down with them to discuss the terms of reference. And upon us getting that direction, we fully intend to have communication with the public and share information with you around our designs, the outcome of any environmental data we've collected, and our strategies to mitigate the environmental impacts. So we'll definitely and most certainly consult with you on a regular basis.
Noting that the East Grand Bahama Town meeting was the first in a series of meetings, Oban Energies LLC thought it was most important for the heads of agreement to be signed first. He says he had no problem discussing the company's policies and philosophy to address the concerns of all stakeholders.
This is the first meeting we're having. It's not going to be the last. So we will come back with more information, we will come back with our technical team, and we'll hopefully provide you what you're looking for in terms of our strategy in real terms.
Admitting that the website had been updated since management had been shuffled in recent weeks, the integrity of the team was a concern of residents. Dunna says the official team will be made public.
We will be announcing in the coming days the new management team, and you will see their profiles and experience in the energy sector and generally with greenfield projects. And I can assure you, you'll have no fears in terms of our capabilities at that point. It's unreasonable to suggest that a company would invest 2 years of their time, 10 million, and then let it fall down because they don't have the right management team in place.
Residents were concerned about the fines of only $3.5 million in the event of a negative environmental impact, such as an oil spill, as the ocean is a natural resource. Dunna had this response.
These have got nothing to do with our ability and the cost of repairing or fixing an environmental issue or any other incident. So the fines are to relay the government's concerns around what they required at that moment in time. That does not relate to what we're prepared to invest to fix the problem. You know, if we have an oil spill, we've got a leak somewhere, we've got a problem somewhere, and without an operation, there is no business. So it's in our interest to fix it. So the capital used to fix or mitigate or rectify any mistakes is ours to have.
The OBAN president answered the question concerning the company's policy on whether or not the project could be retracted or just mitigated to address the negative environmental impacts, if any.
I think there's been a lot of news around this, around the environmental studies don't conform to government expectations, that they can't cancel the heads of agreement. But let me tell you the motivation we had behind that. What we wanted to do was ensure that we had the time to go out and find new expertise and technologies to mitigate any impacts that the government weren't happy with in our existing designs and methodologies. So if they decided that, yes, you've used best in class, but it's still not good enough, we want to have the time to go out and confidence to invest more money to find the right technologies.
He said that the OBAN project hinged upon securing the necessary funds first.
Now, financiers need a certain level of confidence that the project will still continue if we manage to eliminate the concerns the government tell us they have. So we have no intent, we want the project to work in an environmentally safe way, and we would like the time and the opportunity to make that happen at our cost and risk, knowing there's still a project to proceed with at that point.
Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
A delegation from the British Caribbean Chamber of Commerce is on Grand Bahama this week for a series of meetings to advance trade between Grand Bahama and the United Kingdom. The delegation is led by Lord Michael Howard, who once served as Deputy Prime Minister to former British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. Lord Howard and his team met with the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce yesterday before paying a courtesy call at the office of the Prime Minister. Lord Howard says they see several opportunities to explore strong commercial links between Grand Bahama and the UK.
Digital is one. Your agribusiness is another, because you're beginning to see the opportunities that lie there. And obviously, tourism is still a very important part of your economy, and no doubt will remain so. And there hasn't been perhaps as much tourism from the UK as you would like, and perhaps that's something we can look at together. Once we leave the European Union, we'll be free to make trade agreements with other countries, including, I hope, the Bahamas, and that's something we haven't been able to do while we've been part of the EU. So I think there's a very bright future for both of us.
Chamber President Mick Holding describes the meeting with the visiting delegation as quite promising.
This is a very welcome addition to that process. And there's no one answer to our problems. I think it's accumulation of different initiatives, and we very much welcome this one now. I really believe, I've been in talks this morning, that we'll very quickly reach a working agreement, very quickly. And then from that we'll be looking at a sort of a two-way traffic, looking at export opportunities for Bahamian companies.
The UK delegation is also expected to hold meetings with executives of the Grand Bahama Port Authority before leaving on Thursday. The Royal Bahamas Defense Force apprehending 2 males on the high seas today, and as it turns out, the men were wanted for outstanding warrants. Defense Force officers aboard patrol craft P-129 searched the vessel in the vicinity of Wales Key near the Berry Islands. There were 4 persons on board, and investigations revealed that 2 of the 4 were wanted by police. The 2 were subsequently taken into custody, transported to New Providence, and then handed over to police for further processing. Now tonight, you have a second chance to win 3 tickets to the Carifta Games to be held this weekend. Simply go to our Facebook page, Set an S Northern Service, and the first person to correctly answer wins. But be sure to send your answer to our inbox. Tonight's trivia: name the under-20 girls shot put gold medalists and under-20 girls discus gold medalists in the 1976 Carifta Game held in Nassau. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues in just a moment.